Good morning.
Morning guys.
I'm Rabea.
And I'm Matt.
And this is Sounds Like on Andertons TV.
Who are we going to sound like today, Rabea?
This is going to be really fun. We're going to sound like Royal Blood.
We're going to try to sound like Royal Blood.
Yeah.
So Royal Blood, as everyone probably knows by now, they've been around actually a relatively short amount of time, 2 or 3 years, but kind of did that. That's a graph. Mike Kerr, who is their bassist slash guitarist, he's a bassist, but essentially has a very complicated rig, unless for those who don't know. Guitar amp and bass amp, lots of effects, and it's a huge sound essentially.
It sounds like 2 guitars and bass playing all at the same time.
Yeah, and we checking out, kind of doing our research of like what it is he does to get that sound. There's a few people on YouTube, you know, who've been trying to get there along with, you know, different gear, but he's also quite secretive about the gear he uses. Budget-wise, we've been having a debate.
We have been having a debate.
So I'm thinking, shall we just stick to our £1,500 because that is the remit?
And that's understandable. Whereas I'm going, we're asking a lot more of the rig because we want a bass amp and guitar amp, loads of pedals and a bass. So do we bump it up to about £2,000? So that's an extra £500 in the budget, but is that, I don't know, what do you reckon? I don't know.
It's difficult because I think that we've always tried to get a rig that is kind of gig worthy. So I mean, it might be a stretch at £1,500 to get something that'll sound great.
Well, why don't we aim for 1,500 quid and then just like, if we need to bump it up by 100 or 200 pounds, we'll just see. We'll be frugal beyond 1,500 pounds.
But we need to be realistic too.
Yeah.
That we can actually go out and, you know, play a 100 capacity venue or something with our
Royal Blood rig.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So we've seen, I think on earlier stuff, he played a Gretsch Electromatic in kind of, which I can actually just see behind us there.
Yeah, so apparently he actually played this bass in gigs and festivals. I've seen videos of him playing it.
Not the actual one, but...
Well, no, of course not.
No.
What's the other model?
It's a Fender Starcaster. Let me go and see if they have Starcasters out of interest.
Yeah,
I'll see how much this is as well.
But they're all in store?
Oh, well, this is the one that's here. So
that is the one that's here?
Yeah, that's the one that's here.
Oh, cheap.
We have the jet black one there, which is the one at the warehouse, and these are obviously outside. So.
Oh, great. Okay, that works. Do you know how much this Gretsch is?
No, the tag's fallen off.
Could you guess?
£149.
Really?
Well, it's Chinese made, right?
Oh, is it? Right. It's 259.
Yeah.
I think, which is right. Well, I didn't know that.
That
would be why I was surprised. But they also, so the Fender Starcaster, there's a couple in store. They are more like £500 to £600.
Well, I'm just going to put this out there.
I think
if we can get the bass
at
£250, why not?
Well, that gives us a way better chance of hitting our
£1,500 budget.
£1,500. Yeah, so we need a bass amp and a guitar amp.
Yeah, and then a load of pedals.
Yeah,
let's do bass amp.
He uses all Fender gear. I think he's got like a rack with Fender heads in it. I think he's got a...
I've seen the Fender heads. He uses a bass breaker, but that's not a bass amp, it's a guitar amp.
No, that's right.
Bass breaker combo, and then a load of other crazy stuff, so...
And he has that huge I think it's the 8x10, like sideways with 2 combos on top.
So, Matt has found this.
We found a Fender Rumble 15, as he's a Fender guy, but what we are told
is that there's a 40 watt version.
Yes, and it is unbelievably only £188.
The 40 watt, yeah, the 40 watt version.
Yeah. So we're thinking,
not that,
not this, but it's a similar thing. It's just a bit more wattage. This is the 15 watt version.
As he is a Fender guy, we're at the Fender section.
We're in Fender land.
We're just going all out. We're going to try and make it happen, just like the real deal. The only thing is, I'm against getting like borderline expensive, like even a deluxe, because we can't spend £188 on a 40 watt solid state bass combo that's arguably budget, and then go ahead and get like a £600 valve amp.
But you can get a Fender Champion 100 watt 2x12 combo guitar amp for £206. Well, we see all the videos we can find are all Fender stuff.
Yeah.
These days.
We got a Rumble 40.
It's a Fender Super Basement head, and
he's got a couple of combos as well.
Yeah, I think he uses supersonics now.
Electromagnetic.
Let's get the super champ.
Just do that. I just do the super champ. Fuzz pedal and then a pole.
We're going with the Super Champ at 331, exactly 331 pounds.
331. That's a
50 more all tube combo.
yeah, which is amazing for 331 pounds. Yeah. So that kind of gets us in 2 amps and a bass for about 750 quid, 760 maybe.
So we got plenty of money for pedals.
That's like half the budget on the kind of foundations.
Word on the street is that this La Machine by MXR Custom Shop pedal does a pretty good job of achieving that sort of royal blood tone. It's kind of a fuzzy octave pedal kind of vibe.
Okay.
So it's £112. I reckon we just try it out.
We'll give it a go. Okay, cool.
I think they're 79, and it basically does the same job a Hog does.
Well, he uses a Boss harmonist.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that he uses 3 Boss harmonists.
Well, let's keep a pitchfork in mind.
We need an ABY.
You know what you
But what
could
does
use?
it-
If you after the octave thing, but on the cheap,
What was the one we were looking at?
Pitchfork's
The
91.
Yeah.
I'd use that. But
Yeah, well, that's what we're thinking, 2 of those.
Or Boss Super Octave.
89. Yeah, OC3.
And that's got a direct output, so you can run 2 amps at the same time. What you might want to do is, if you want both, is go into the Super Octave, out of the direct output, go into the pitchfork. So then the octave up's on one, and then the octave down's on the other.
And we also need a line selector.
Well, will we need a line selector?
We need something to split the signal into. So we can use... Yeah, we do. So we'll need an ABY.
Cool. So we're going to go with the pitchfork.
Oh, 2 of those, aren't we? Oh no, 1.
We're going to get the OC3.
Yeah.
The Boss Super Octave, a pitchfork. We're going to get the NS2 noise suppressor, and we're going to get a G7 EQ pedal, and that's going to hopefully take care of and a line selector. So that's going to take care of the split between
Splitting the signal into 2 amps.
Yeah.
And then octave on each.
Yeah.
You're doing octave on each channel?
Well, I think we want a lower octave and a higher octave split. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're going to look at some of the fuzzes and distortions and things like that, just to get the tone, I guess.
And also a noise suppressor to kind of... We're anticipating it's going to be quite a noisy rig.
Yeah.
Especially because it's a quite a cheap guitar as well. So, yes.
Let's see.
So we're back in the video room in our attempt to sound like raw blood.
We are indeed.
Yep. It's been a challenge, but actually quite fun.
I think out of all the sounds like we've done, this has been the most, I'd say, methodical and calm, even though it's really challenging. Normally we're like, but it doesn't sound right, and then we start messing around, but like, we kind of knew exactly what we were trying to do.
I think, yeah, it sound, you can kind of like build it in layers.
Yeah.
And go like, well, first we need these amps.
Exactly. It
and
felt
then we
really
need, yeah,
step by step almost.
Yeah. We were debating earlier whether we should extend the budget to see if we could, allow ourselves more options. But I think we might have come in under our original budget of £1,500.
You could argue that, we chose sort of budget amplifiers. However, obviously one of them's tube. It's still sort of got solid state preamp section. But like, I think where the money really starts to rack up is if you start getting more expensive amplifiers. But these do achieve the sound quite accurately, I think. It's just, I think what we've noticed with the album versions of some of the songs and then the live versions of some of the songs is actually, you know, they play them differently. The guitar sound is actually different on the live than it is on the album on certain sections. So it has been a little bit of a challenge to pinpoint, are we going for album or are we going for live? And I think we've landed somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, and also I think because they're quite new, that their rig has kind of
evolved.
They've probably got quite a lot of big upgrades quite recently.
Yeah. But we should start, before we get into the world of the pedals, we'll go through the guitar really quick. It's the Gretsch Electromatic Bass.
Yep.
And it's super simple, but I can confirm that if you search Royal Blood Live, more than often he's going to be playing this guitar, and he might be playing a higher spec version of the same model, but this is the Chinese version.
Yeah.
Plays great, sounds really good, it's simple. It feels like a guitar that's got 4 strings and tuned really low.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? With the toggle switch and all that stuff. But it's £250.
But for £250, it's like great.
Yeah, and it's the same one, so it looks the part as well.
Yeah, exactly,
You do feel it does make a bit of a difference when you're playing the riffs. That it's like, well, it's the same guitar. And then amps wise, we've got the Fender Super Champ.
This is 15 watt.
Yeah, this is the 15 watt version. As I said, it's all valve. It has a solid state preamp section. One thing that we didn't actually account for was that it's got built-in reverb and effects
delay,
and stuff.
yeah.
On the gain stage, which is the second channel, you've got voicings from 1 through 16, and what we found was, depending on the riff and the section, we were switching the voicing. We've been going between 7 and 13 for some of the riffs.
And actually, we didn't really see that coming. We were kind of like, oh, let's just get a nice Fender valve.
But it's really handy.
It is. Yeah. It's actually been one of the really helpful features. And also, we don't have to buy a reverb pedal.
So this is what the guitar sounds like straight into the amplifier.
So that's with a bit of mild gain, just on the we're on the gain stage, but it's only on gains on 1.
It's really weird playing a bass like a guitar in the sense that the riffs are very guitar-y feeling.
Yeah.
But like I'm holding a bass. If we show you the bass amp,
Let me just find. Yeah, we've got.
this is the Fender Rumble 40, and it's a 40 watt solid state bass amp, 1x12, and it packs a punch, to be honest.
It's also got neodymium speakers in it, which
So it's lightweight.
It's so light. It's ridiculous.
We've been actually using it on sort of distortion.
A bit of drive, yeah. Which sounds like this.
The idea is we used it to sit underneath the guitar sound.
Yeah, we did try at first, I think, to play it really clean, so it's kind of more subby, than with a bit of an even further like sub octave.
Yeah.
But it just kind of sounded quite flumpy, quite uncontrolled.
The OC3 is adding just a little bit more sort of definition and solidity across all the strings.
Yeah.
Because like playing from the low strings to the high ones, it starts to thin out. Whereas having the octave on, it seems a little bit more even across the board.
Okay, so now let's just take a quick look at pedals. So we got to start with, this is kind of the key to it all, is the Boss line selector, the LS2.
And the guitar's going straight into there.
Straight into there, and what that allows you to do is there's a load of different modes on it, so you can kind of configure your signal chain in lots of different ways. But what we wanted to do is achieve a guitar sound all the time, and then the ability to bring in a bass sound
when we need it. Yeah.
To kind of, he kind of kicks it in, after intros and that kind of thing. bass channel, let's do that first, it's most simple, is straight into the OC3 octave. So
back to the amp, yeah.
Let's give that a blast.
So if we take it off, this is what it sounds like without. You put it on, it's just going to thicken everything up. You notice how on those top notes, it's subtle but makes a difference when you mix everything together. It's just a little thicker. So that's the bass rig in its entirety. I should just mention that it's going at the DI is what you'll be hearing. What we're hearing in the room is the cab, but you'll be hearing the DI.
Okay, yeah. So it's the guitar signal chain straight through. It's just a 4-pedal setup. We've got the Electro-Harmonix Pitchfork, which is a harmonizer pedal. Then going into the MXR La Machine, which is our kind of distortion overdrive sounds. An EQ pedal to give us a bit more kind of sculpting over the end result, if you like, and then our noise suppressor, which is very handy right now. It's a noisy rig.
I would imagine he probably uses a fair few, like a noise suppressor of some description to keep his signals at bay. So we've just got the bass guitar going straight into the Fender Super Champ right now. We're going to start building the royal blood tone. We'll
leave the bass off until we've got through the guitar chain. So let's start with the EHX pitch. So that's kind of, it's really crucial for kind of getting that guitar sound, because it basically is lifting us up an octave higher than the bass would be.
La Machine.
Yeah, and that's again another key component for all those drive sounds.
It is worth mentioning, output's on halfway, tones just above 9 o'clock, and the distortion is pretty much off. And again, the distortion on the amplifier is pretty much off. So it's the tiniest little bit that's allowing the machine to blend with the amp that's getting this marriage of distortion and fuzz almost. And we're on voicing number 7. At this point, I'm probably going to demonstrate the difference between number 7 and the other one we were using, which was 13. So this is 7. And I'm going to switch it around to 13. That's where we start to sculpt it more.
Are you on 7? So yeah.
We're at. So this is without. And then we're going to add it. What's nice is that's a direct, to me that sounds like a halfway house between voicing 7 and voicing 13, because you're getting that little bit more kind of ferocity from 7, and then we're adding a little bit of a mid boost around. We've got a boost at 800, a little bit at 1.5k, and that's giving us our mid and high mid kind of extra clarity there.
Let's just do that again then. So off. Yeah,
sounds more like White Stripes.
It does sound more like White Stripes.
Yeah.
But it's giving it more of a kind of like, it's a woody kind of boxy.
Yeah,
it's not almost boxy tone, but it's very
It's just got balls to it, you know what I mean?
It's really good. And
that's it. And then we got the noise suppressor. In fairness, the threshold is on full, but we should also say that we didn't realise there was a ground lift on the back of the bass amp, which has actually cleaned up the sound quite a bit.
It wasn't.
Yes, thanks Pete. So yeah, that's doing its job. There's not really much more to say about it. But at this point, now that we've built up the Royal Blood sort of guitar sound, I'm going to play one of the riffs and then Matt's going to bring in the bass and we should be able to hear how it all comes together. Great.
It is. It sounds great in the room.
And
so,
you can hear those high notes. So there you have it.
yeah.
To be honest, I'm well surprised that it came in at £200 under budget, roughly. And I'm also amazed at the fact that it sounds that sort of good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, I thought, because as we said before, like I thought compromising on the amps and the guitar that much, I thought we might end up with just a bit of a kind of cheap sounding rig.
I tell you what, it's great fun to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, hitting that big note when the bass kicks in is just so much fun. We're really happy with this. Oh, well, I am. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm really happy and it sounds great in the room. Hopefully it's kind of comes across and sounds good to you. So I guess in that spirit, let us know what you think.
Yes.
As always, leave your comments in the comment section below. All links to all these pedals, the guitar, the bass amp, the guitar amp are in the description box. And that's us sounding like Royal Blood.
I'm Rabea.
And I'm Matt.
And this has been Sounds Like on Andertons TV.
See you guys later.